did you take my weed? I don't know. And he literally got in my face and I had to back up into the wall because he was like shoving me backwards. He was in my face, he was threatening to kill me, threatening that he would go back to jail because they were threatening to kill me, and one of his friends was threatening to come to Ohio and stab me to death. Well, I've had more death threats in person than through YouTube. Hi, I'm Lilia, and I'm gonna be telling you stories from my past because why not? Literally like 10 o'clock at night and I just put this makeup on to film this video. I've been wanting to do a sit down video, and the other night it just like randomly popped in my head that someone had threatened to stab me. Someone threatened to stab me. And when I was going through all of my old Snapchat memories to get all those videos of Cheyenne and to just go through and look through just like old videos of us, I saw this one picture that I took of my face, and the writing on it said, "This girl's boyfriend just threatened to kill me and to go back to jail." And then it made me remember that then like 2 years after that, so like 2 years ago when I was 17, or I guess 3 years ago now, I'm 20. Crap. When I was 17 and when I was addicted to Xanax, someone threatened to stab me. I've been wanting to make a sit down video, so when I thought of those two things, when I thought of those two stories, I just immediately knew I had to film this. Which one should I tell first? I guess probably the shorter one, the boyfriend one. So this happened when I worked at Pizza Hut when I was 16 years old. I believe that was my first job. Oh, I'm just kidding. I just got smoke in my eye. You thought. Oh, fuck. And then I worked at an Arby's, and then a Jimmy John's, and then another Pizza Hut. So this was my first job. And I had this job for like 6 months. I had it for a long time, and then I ended up quitting for something that I'm probably not ever gonna tell the story because it's really just disgusting. And yeah, I should have pressed charges or something. But this story, I'm going off topic and going places I don't want to go. This happened when I was 16. And I think it was like 2 months after I had started working there, and there was another girl who worked there. I don't know, we're gonna name her Sarah because I can't think of anything else besides Sarah. So my first job was actually really cool. Some of the people there that worked there were really cool, and I had a decent amount of people that worked there that were around my age. They were just like a little bit older, like 17, 18, 19. And then there were like some grown adults. And we would all sit in like the back and smoke weed like after closing. And we would smoke in the back of the Pizza Hut in the restaurant. Because it wasn't like a dine-in Pizza Hut. I don't know if any of them are, but it wasn't a dine-in Pizza Hut. You just walked in the front, and then there was the kitchen. Like you walked in the front, there was a little bathroom for people, and then the counter. Like there was just like 2 chairs. It was a small waiting room. And then you walked into the kitchen, and then there was a back room with the staff bathroom, which was like a janky bathroom with a toilet and a little sink. It was just janky. And it was a really nice like area too, like neighborhood. The drivers would come back with like hundreds of dollars of tips in the night because it was always so busy. It's such a busy area and a nice neighborhood at that. But yeah, after closing, we would all just go in the back. The managers, the grown adults, like 30, yeah, us teenagers, me, another girl, and usually this other guy who's also a teenager and took a lot of LSD and stuff. And then there was like a 35-year-old manager who would come smoke with us, teenagers, in the back of this Pizza Hut where I know that we're not supposed to be smoking. I know that for a fact. And we're in Ohio, which is not like a legal state for weed. The other girl, Sarah, who worked there, she was like 17 or 18. I guess her mom was a manager through like all of the Pizza Huts or something like that. So she worked there and we were friends. Like we started becoming friends. We would smoke together. We would hit each other's nicotine and like dab pens. We were friends for like a month or two. And then it was crazy. There were so many fights and like it was always the adults. It was never the teenagers either. We were all cool with each other. We were all just stoners. It was the adults. Like they had like anger issues and one of them was recovering and was an alcoholic. He was recovering off heroin and he was an alcoholic. And then another one was recovering and they would fight and it was just like a mess. And then the female manager was done. But I'll get to that. One day, out of nowhere, I was doing my job. I was literally just at the pizza station and I would be at the make station and I would put all the toppings on the pizza and stuff and put the pizza in the oven. And that's what I was doing. And she came up to me and she was like, did you take my... It was either like a Joel pod or like a Joel or weed or something. And she said, did you take my weed? I don't know. Did you take my weed? I can't even remember what I had said. I'm pretty sure there's cameras back there and I had been doing my job the whole time. People saw me doing my job. I was always doing my job. I hadn't even been back there. We go back there like after closing. Yeah, I was pissed. I was really pissed off. Yeah, she was just being a bitch to me. She was like taking videos of me and sending it to someone who found out it was her boyfriend. She was, I guess, telling her boyfriend that out of everyone, like there was also recovering addicts and stuff, like out of everyone, I was the one who took it, even though I was doing my job the whole time. And she was the one who ended up getting fired. And they told me I was fine and that I didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, she was taking like videos and pictures of me and she kept when I would look back at her, she would just be staring at me or like texting or taking a picture of me. And I was just getting really pissed and I went to the managers and they told me to just go home early and they would deal with it. And I went to leave and her boyfriend was waiting in his car outside of the restaurant, outside of the Pizza Hut. So when I walked out, he jumped out of his car. And when I was 16 working at this Pizza Hut, I was addicted to Adderall. Like I was prescribed Adderall when I shouldn't have been. I did not have ADHD and I started abusing it. I was just this like little 120-pound 16-year-old and there was this grown man, he was like 19 or 20 and he literally got in my face and I had to back up into the wall because he was like shoving me backwards. But he didn't touch me, but his body was shoving me backwards. And he just started like yelling at me and cussing at me and saying he would go back to jail and say that he was going to kill me and to give her back whatever. And I forgot, before I left, before I left, the manager told me, he just walked up to me and he was like, she wants to look through your bag, you should let her, just to give her that peace of mind. So I let her go through my entire bag, which I shouldn't have, and I definitely wouldn't now, because who the fuck are you to tell me that I took that shit? But she literally opened every zipper of my bag, like literally everything, every pocket, everything. She looked through everything, and I didn't have it.
Because I didn't fucking take it.
And I had a job, like I was paying for my own weed. He was in my face, he was threatening to kill me, threatening that he would go back to jail. And then the female manager, who she was probably like in her late 50s, she came out screaming at him. Like she was losing her shit, saying that she would call the cops and stuff. She was losing her shit and threatening to call the cops. And he got in his car and he was like spitting at us and just like cussing and being awful. He was just like screaming at us, and she told me to go inside. And she didn't call the cops, but she did start yelling at everyone in the restaurant, said fuck this, and she was cussing, and she was just cussing out like the other workers, like the other management. And like, because they didn't do their job, they didn't do their jobs. She had a right to be yelling, but she threw her keys down and said, I fucking quit. And she left. And the other manager gave me a ride home. And yeah, that girl never came back to work. And neither did the girl manager. Sarah nor the manager came back. Love that for me. I just want to know like what in her mind said it was me out of like the other like 6 people that were there when we were all working. Like, I don't know. It's funny now looking back at it, but in the moment that was really terrifying, and I was shaking, and I was terrified. Like, it's definitely terrifying to have a grown man towering over you, screaming in your face, saying he's not scared to go back to jail. So we're gonna move to the next story on how another grown man threatened to stab me when I was 17 this time. So by now, if you've watched my videos, we all know that I was addicted to Xanax for 6 months from when I was 17 to 3 days after my 18th birthday, where I almost died. I tried to kill myself and I was in the ICU. In that 6 months that I was on Xanax, I was not a good person. I understand that it is very hard for people who have not been in addiction to understand that when you are in active addiction and you are addicted to a substance, you are not the same person you used to be. You are a completely different person. Drugs make you a completely different person. You do not care about the people around you. You will burn every bridge around you. You don't give a fuck you will sell anything for just one high, even if it lasts 3 hours. Like, it's ridiculous. It makes you into a person that you will not recognize. And now that I'm I'm almost 2.5 years sober off of everything, it's just, you see that you were a completely different person and how awful you were to those around you. So yeah, I'm gonna say that before I start this part, because this happened when I was on Xanax, and I don't know how the argument started. I don't know, because I would have people slide up on my story all the time saying you shouldn't be taking pills, or just say really rude comments about me taking pills. And it also would sometimes be people who also take pills. But I literally could have seen something he posted and not liked it and slid up and said something really fucking mean. I have no idea. Because I was on Xanax, and that 6 months of my life is completely blacked out. I only have a few seconds here or there. That 6 months is completely gone from my memory. So I don't exactly know how this fight started. He could have said something, or I could have been being a fucking bitch and have just attacked him for no reason. I don't know. Because when I was high, I liked to start little things to entertain myself, because I was bored and miserable. So all I remember is me telling him that he was a shell of a human being, and we had words back and forth that I really cannot remember. And let me say, this person, I'll name him C, because that's what his name starts with, C. And C was a grade above me in the same grade as Adam, and he was a dealer. And it's weird, me and Adam have talked about this before. In his grade, the druggies and the dealers were the popular, I hate saying that, the popular kids in their grade. And in my grade, it was the cheerleaders and football players. And the druggies were completely, we were bullied and just ignored. So it was completely different. He was one of the like popular druggy kids in Adam's grade. We were being very rude back and forth to each other. Again, something I would never do now. Like, I have a child. I just genuinely do not care now if you have something mean to say about me. I've probably heard it a million times. And I have nothing rude to say about anyone anymore. Now, that being said, this C, he took it upon himself during the argument to add me to a group chat with like 30 people in it from Adam's grade, a grade above me, of like all of the popular, I just like hate saying that, all the kids that were popular. Because I was still 17 at the time, so that's still like, I was still in high school, I was still a senior, but I just didn't do any of my schoolwork. I didn't finish senior year. Well, C took it upon himself to add me to a group chat with like 30 people that were all of those kids, and there were girls, there were a lot of people that I had on my Snapchat that are like friends of Adam's, like a lot of them, and I still actually have them on my Snapchat. C moved to Florida after he graduated, so he was in Florida during this like argument, and I'm in Ohio again. I think I said that earlier. So he had also some of his Florida friends. I don't know if he added them to the group chat or if they were already there, but this was like a school group chat that someone later told me that they hadn't used in a while. So he really took it upon himself to scroll down, add me to a random group chat that was down in his Snapchat that people hadn't been texting in like regularly, just to have everyone just dogpile on me and just shit on me. And when he added me, all of the like 10 of the people that Adam are still like somewhat friends with them still, they immediately left the group chat when they saw like what C and what his friends were saying to me, because they were threatening to kill me, and one of his friends was threatening to come to Ohio and stab me to death. And there was just people attacking me. There was people leaving the group chat and then texting me like, what the fuck is happening? Or came to me like after I got sober, like apologizing about that. And yeah. I don't know if I started that. I don't know. I don't think that it was really necessary to threaten to stab someone that was just like a nobody on Xanax. Like, just say fuck off and just go mind your business. Block me. Yeah, they threatened to kill me also. I've also had people tell me to kill myself many times. Literally threatening to stab me. I beat you to it like 2 months after you threatened that, so. Okay, I think that's it for this little sit down video. I hope this was somewhat entertaining or funny or brought memories back to you of when someone threatened to kill you, because I bet everyone has had death threats at some point. None of those were even through YouTube. I don't think I've had nasty comments, like really gross comments, but I don't think anyone's ever threatened to kill me through YouTube. So I've had more death threats in person than through YouTube. I have so many random things that happen to me that I genuinely just like are dormant in my brain because of trauma and just everything. If you want to know about that, go to all of my story times where I talk about it constantly. I've had a lot happen, so there's a lot dormant, and there's a lot that, like, there's like random snippets from childhood, because I can't really remember my childhood. There's like random traumatic things that have been starting to coming up. So I'm probably gonna have more videos when things just get shaken out of my head. I don't know how to put it. Oh my god, I feel like this was just a mess.